Brooklyn Independent Television.
Coney Island, like so many other waterfront sections of Brooklyn, suffered severe damage from Hurricane Sandy. Here to give us the latest on the community's recovery and rebuilding is its New York City Council member and Finance Chairman, Dominic M. Recchia Jr. And speaking of rebuilding, all the renovation going on locally has been a boon to one group in particular, the day laborers, most of them immigrants who do much of the heavy lifting. Joining us to talk about their situation is Ligia Gualpa, Executive Director of the Workers' Justice Project. Council member, let's start with you. Can you bring us up to speed on where the rebuilding is going?
Well, the rebuilding is turning out that it is much tougher than the actual storm in dealing with the actual devastation that Coney Island has been hit with. And as the council member and working with all the other elected officials, we are desperately working hard, making sure that Coney Island, Seagate, Brighton Beach, Manhattan Beach moves forward and gets rebuilt immediately. And we've been starting with working with the homes. Seagate was devastated, and the single homes. The NYCHA facilities are all up and running, but their boilers are all outside. They'll be out there for at least a year. And the families that live in the single-family homes, many of them have not even began the construction and the renovation of their homes. Many of them can't afford to hire people. Many of them have not received any money from either FEMA or their insurance companies. And the insurance companies are not working well with their customers. They're not treating them, especially Allstate. But as elected officials, we are stepping up to the plate. We're working hard. There are two good things that are happening. One good thing is today, Cantor Fitzgerald is giving out to PS 90 in Coney Island and to PS 329, two schools, elementary schools, $1,000 credit card to every parent whose child attended the Coney Island school to help them get on with their lives. And they can use this money any way they seem fit for their families. The other good thing is that when we started this, we needed volunteers. All New Yorkers and Brooklynites especially all came out to help in Coney Island and volunteering, especially the road runners. They came out also once they called off the marathon, and I want to thank the mayor and Mary Wittenberg for that. But especially one group in particular that has been great working with us and working with the community that came out to volunteer was the day laborers. And Leah has come forward and they volunteer, and because of the volunteering, many people are hiring them to help them work in the renovation and the reconstruction of Coney Island. And it was a beautiful thing because the men and women all came out, but they just didn't come out to help to do the construction, the renovation, the demolition, but they also came out to organize us, giving out food, carrying water up flights of steps, and it was a lot of hard work. And I want to thank Leah for leading it, and the Bay Parkway Job Center. We started this many, many years ago, and it's been doing an excellent job.
So let's talk a little bit about the Bay Parkway Center before we talk about the day laborers in particular. What was the idea behind it, and how does it work?
So many years ago, actually, it started with a lot of support with very few, and I just have to mention that the councilman has been one of the very few leaders in the community that really stepped up and really recognized first the value that day laborers bring to the communities, that they are not only workers, but they're community members that live and work there. And the idea behind it was to create a space, to create a fair hiring process for contractors and homeowners that really need that labor to help out, and ensure that that process is a fair process. Workers are earning a fair wage, are receiving the proper training, the health and safety. And he was the councilman here, and many other leaders in the community were not wrong. When this type of crisis came in our community, the day laborers were the first responders to do the cleanup. So day laborers don't have money to donate, but they said we have one of the most valuable assets, which is our labor. Now more than ever, our community needs, and we need to come out, and they're doing it, not only working, but as the councilman said, volunteering and offering that trained labor to the community.
So how has the volume of day laborers increased since Sandy? What was it like before the storm, and what has it been more recently?
So usually during the winter time, construction goes down because not many construction companies do construction during the winter time. During construction, there used to be few jobs. Now we're delivering 5, 6, up to like at the beginning it was more than 20 jobs on daily basis to do the cleanup. Now a lot of the workers are moving to the second phase, which is doing reconstruction, putting the sheetrock back, doing the tiling, doing the roofing. And this, we have acknowledged that this is the second phase of the reconstruction that needs a lot of more training, a lot of more skilled labor, and working on that along with the councilman to make sure that the first step is ensuring that the workers are receiving the proper health and safety. We conducted the first OSHA training, 2 different ones with more than 50 workers on each. We're going to be doing a scaffold training also in Coney Island along with the councilman. And now we're moving forward with local tent to hopefully that apprenticeship program will be approved at the state level to ensure that the workers are receiving the proper training, the homeowners are receiving a high quality workforce. And why not ensuring that a lot of the construction for those homes that the councilman mentioned that cannot afford, that Bay Parkway has a hand there, a free labor, and also homeowners that can rely on labor that they can hire from them. So
that's fantastic.
The good thing about having this, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to get all these day laborers off the corners in Brooklyn. Been working on this, and we're trying to get them in one location so contractors could come in one location and they could get the proper people to hire for the day or for the week, okay, or permanently. For example, many people will go there, if they need a painter, you could go up and drive up and walk into the office, say, I need 2 people, 3 people who know how to paint. And they will give you people who know how to paint, who have that skill, all right? When you go and hire someone off a street corner, which many people do, they say they know how to paint, but then you're not happy with the way they painted, and that's where the problems start.
So the center basically sort of verifies that they have the appropriate skill level for the job that's being asked for.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why we've been successful, but we have a lot more work on improving it. We have to get more contractors to come to the center. We have to get more day laborers off the corners and to come here. One thing is that they make sure is that the contractors have the proper safety equipment for these workers. You can't put people up on the roof if they don't have the proper harnesses and proper.
And does the center provide that?
Now we're doing it. We were able to get some funding through foundations that really stand up, like Ford Foundation, Robin Hood Foundation. Workers have the alternative. If the employer is not providing or something happens, they have a harness, they have a helmet, they have the gloves, the basic proper equipment. And one of the things that we're also doing is ensuring that a lot of the contractors knows the benefit of providing this type of safety equipment, because no contractor wants to get a violation with OSHA, the Department of Buildings, or have a job accident then suddenly gets sued by one of the companies.
So the first preferred course of action would be to have the contractor provide that. But in the case that they can't, it's better to have people safe, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We actually make the contractor sign a fair agreement, one that the worker commits that the job is going to be done well and professionally, and also that the employer is going to provide the health and safety equipment and is going to pay a fair job.
During the demolition of Coney Island, when the day laborers were volunteering, they didn't have gloves or masks. So Councilman Gentili and myself, all right, we obtained, he was in charge of gloves, I was in charge of the mask, and we got them for the workers because we believe that they need the proper equipment to do this work. But, what a lot of people don't understand, they want to be part of our community.
Yeah.
They want to work with us, not against us. They want fair jobs, fair paying jobs, and they're willing to do the work. So as we move forward in Coney Island, with everyone working and rebuilding, it's just the beginning. We're working with rapid repairs, and a lot of people are complaining. What a lot of people do not realize is that there was an overwhelming response to it, but
You're talking about the rapid repairs program.
rapid repairs program. But in all fairness, what a lot of people, rapid repairs already did over 4,000 homes as we sit here today in New York City. And that is a great accomplishment to a program where people get a free boiler, free heat, and hot water. We're heading in the right direction. There's a lot more work to be done. And if anyone has a problem or need help, please feel free to call my office, either my district office in Brooklyn or my main office in Manhattan at 250 Broadway. We're here to help the people of Brooklyn. No matter where you live, we're going to help you.
In a few seconds left, Lihia, what would be the next step for the center, in your opinion? Where do you want to go from here?
So our next step is actually rebuilding the center, because the center was it was impacted as well. And thanks to Dominic Recchia, we got the space to reopen, to reclean, and now we're going to work together to make sure the workers get a new facility, but also to call more contractors and homeowners that the center is there for them, and the center is open from 7 o'clock in the morning up to the noon. They can call to the phone number, which is 718-600-0425, and the workers are there.
And this has probably been assumed, but I want to make sure that we clarify. There is bilingual staff, particularly Spanish-speaking staff, available at the center.
Spanish and English.
Spanish and English. Very good. Well, listen, I want to thank you both. I am very sure that Coney Island and that whole area of Brooklyn will rebuild with strong leaders like you leading the way. So thank you both for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I just want everyone to know that Coney Island will definitely be open this summer.
Hear, hear.
Thank you.
Two entrepreneurs working in Bushwick, urban farming, aquaponics, ammonia, nitrates, and tilapia. What's this all mean? We'll let Sector B's Sherry Carabin explain.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at breakartsmedia.org/BIT.